Play all night for you. I really could. But I'm not gonna. Because I want to come back and I don't want to spoil the magic we've created here. I want to leave enough tension in the room so you'll come back again. So I can come back in the fall and do this.
Exactly.
I'll come out to you for this one. I'm going to sing you my most popular song. The song called "The World Ain't Slowing Down." Yeah. Thank you. Now, the reason why this is my most popular song was because it was in a Jim Carrey movie. I've been lucky enough to have a few of those kind of songs in my career that ended up being commercially relevant. So this one has brought in about 4 or 5 million hits on YouTube, about the same number on Spotify. And the beautiful thing about it is, you're going to love this, is that every quarter, and this happened like 25 years ago, every quarter around April 1st, which is right around the corner, I go to my mailbox and there's a check in the mailbox for this song that still has a comma in it. I love that about this song. I bought a house with this song. This is the song that got my parents off my back. See, my parents didn't want me to be a folk singer. It's not something you want your kid to be. They wanted me to be more someone like you. Someone that can buy a folk ticket to come see a show. They didn't want the guy on stage. They wanted somebody that can afford a $30 ticket to come see this idiot play. But everything they did in my life created the person you're looking at right now. When I was in the 3rd grade, I went to my first show. It was Doc Severinsen from The Tonight Show Orchestra. He was one of the most famous trumpet players in the world at that time. And I was up in the balcony in this 3,000-seat auditorium, and he came out and he looked like the most beautiful alien I've ever seen in my life. He was in a jumpsuit, he had mutton chops and a handlebar mustache. He looked like $1 million in 1970s dollars. It was amazing. And on the way home, I was babbling on about it. I could barely fall asleep that night. And when I woke up in the morning, there was a trumpet on the end of my bed. There were lessons that afternoon. The whole thing was a setup. But what they didn't know was that was the gateway drug that would lead to this. Now, I went to an expensive college, Boston College in Boston. I told my parents I was going to be a doctor. So they said, well, that's good news, we'll help you out. And then I discovered who I was. And I wasn't a doctor. I was a folk singer. I grew my hair to my shoulders. I started playing the folk clubs at night. And my parents, when I graduated, thought I had taken some kind of hippie liberal drug and that it would burn off in my 20s. I mean, how far could this go? So they just bit their tongue until I was 26 years old. And then my father decided to have a one-man intervention. I was at his house up in Bangor, Maine. I was going out to a show. I had my guitar case in hand. And he stopped me on the staircase and he said, you can't keep doing this. And I said, I can't keep doing what? He said, you can't keep doing music. This is a dead end for you. You have to think about getting a job, falling in love with somebody, having kids, buying a house. This is going nowhere for you. I was 26 years old. I was so far into the rabbit hole that there was no plan B. I knew that in 35 years, I was going to be at the Beachland Tavern. Couldn't he see the path to glory in front of me? But he couldn't, and it put a serious wedge between my dad and I, and it took a few years to get over it, because I knew who I was, and he couldn't see me. He couldn't see me at all. But I just figured out recently what he was trying to tell me. It had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with him. He wasn't saying you're not talented, you don't know how to write or play or hold an audience or tell a story. He wasn't saying any of that. What he was really trying to tell me was this: please don't live in my basement. that was it. And I finally figured it out because now I have kids. I've got 2 girls who are in college. They're 19 and 21, and they're killing me financially. But I was taking them to high school not too long ago, having one of those father-daughter talks. Where are you going to be in 10 years? If you could imagine yourself doing any job, what would you want to be? And my daughter in the back seat, she said, I want to be an actress. And I thought to myself, please don't live in my basement. And it was me. It was like the ghost of my father showed up on the passenger side, and he was laughing at me, and we were high-fiving. We finally got to see who I'd become, and even more importantly, I got to see who he was. He was just a parent that really wanted his son to do one better than him. That was it. He just didn't know how to express it in those words. But that's really what he wanted. And I did. And I still am. I'm making more money doing folk music than my dad did as a potato specialist. That was my dad's profession. He was a potato scientist who developed potatoes. He even had species of potatoes that he designed that probably some of you have eaten. But there's not a lot of money in potatoes. Potato stuff. They finally figured it out. This is a side. I know I'm talking a lot before I do this. But they finally figured out what I was up to when I got to sing the national anthem at a Red Sox-Yankees game at Fenway Park, which is awesome. It was on Maine Day. Maine is where I'm from. And it was also on their wedding anniversary. So that was the day where they saw me in front of 39,000 people do my job and finally shut them up. And I knew I was going to do it. Here's the most beautiful thing. My whole family flew in for it. We went out on Lansdowne Street, which is the road that runs right along Fenway Park. And we got absolutely plastered because we were celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary, and they had this cup after cup after cup, and I was deep into the cups, and then it was time to sing the national anthem. Now this sounds bad, it sounds horrible, and it is. But at Fenway, they make you pre-record the national anthem. That's why I was willing to drink with my family on Lansdowne Street. So before the crowd came in, before my parents and my family got there, I was at Fenway, I pre-recorded it. All I needed to do was step on home plate and then mouth the words as it came over the sound system. But I was still in the cups. And this is what happens when you're in the cups at Fenway Park singing the national anthem. You hear your voice, and I start singing. I'm on the Jumbotron. And it's going great, and everybody's singing along. And what I'm trying to suppress is a Tourette's syndrome kind of impulse to run the bases. I mean, my voice would carry on, but I would be... Fortunately, I held back, and it was fine. Had I done it, I wouldn't be here, and my career would have been over. But I would have been very famous for a week. So back to the song. It's called The World Ain't Slowing Down.
Woo!
Yeah. Thank you for coming here. Thank you, Chris and Fender. There you are. Thank you, brother. And thank to Dave over there on the sound system. Give him a round of applause. I found you sitting on a suitcase crying. Beneath my feet I feel the rumble of a subway train. I laugh out loud because it's the one thing I hadn't been trying. On the train, feeling breathless, you looked at me restless. Said, baby, you'll never change. You gotta get going, and the world ain't slowing down. No one, it's the carnival calling out to you. And it sounds like a song, it's like scripture. You paint the picture with color, squeeze from your hand. Weren't you the kid who just climbed on the merry-go-round? Here we go. Hey, look,
The world ain't slowing down.
hey, hey. Now out on the sidewalk, pigeons do the moonwalk. Me, I'm dancing like Fred Astaire. The lampposts are rocking, the whole town's talking like a fool in a barber's chair. I get a sensation, joy, frustration, like being caught by a tropical wave. Freedom getting on you when there's no place to run to. It feels just like Novocaine on. You gotta get going. Hey, the world ain't
Slowing down to no one. It's the carnival calling out.
oh, it's calling out to you. Sounds like a song. It's like scripture. You paint the picture with colors, squeeze your hand. Weren't you the kid who just climbed on the merry-go-round? Hey, look.
The world ain't slowing down.
Whenever I sing this now, this was about a love song, about when you love someone, set them free. But now I feel like it's about my daughters, because they're off in college at the same time. I mean, why didn't I wait? Why didn't I wait just one more year? So it'd be just one by one. Now I've got a freshman at a private art school in Savannah, called Savannah College of Art and Design. It's $60,000. And the other daughter, who I like, is at a state school in Virginia. It's only $20,000 a year. You packed up your handbag. Now you're throwing off the sandbags. I let go and you step free. I didn't want to lose you. You said you didn't choose to. It's just how your karma came. But thanks for the vision, the 2020 wisdom. You hit me like a southbound train.
You gotta get going.
Hey, the world,
Ain't slowing down.
it ain't slowing down. It's a carnival calling out. Oh, it's calling down to you. Sounds like a song. It's like scripture. You paint the picture with color. Squeeze your hand. Weren't you the kid who just climbed on the merry-go-round? Hey, look.
The world ain't slowing down.
That's right, it keeps on spinning and spinning. Do you guys have kids? No? Kids? Have you got a cat? Community college. It's a big new world.